that work, that was done by me and our designer. If you didn't like it, I would not like to take any credit for that. But anyway, jokes apart, let's get on with the subject for today's masterclass. So let's start with a very simple and a very ancient story. Once upon a time in India, a king lost a game of chess to his minister. The king decided to give the minister a prize. So the minister asks a prize, a very strange request. So the minister says, on the first day, I want 1 grain of rice on the first square. On the second day, I want 2 grains of rice on the second square, and so on. Basically, I want double the number of grains with each day, as given in this photo. So the king was about to grant this prize when the treasurer interrupted him and said that if he were to grant this prize, the state would go bankrupt by the 30th day. Before I come to the moral, here is a real life thing that happened just a few days ago. So a few days ago, I shared this creative with our WhatsApp group, and when I shared it initially, most people didn't see what was wrong in it. It's only after some time that I realized that I had made a huge blunder, and that it's not really possible for someone to do an investment of 50,000 per month and become a crorepati in 4 years, unless he was getting an annual return of 60%. Now, this is a huge blunder that I made, but most people didn't get it. The moral of the story here is that essentially it is for the human mind, compounding is hard to understand. So it's for that reason that we are doing this presentation. So let's start with what are levers. So these things from everyday life that you see, a stapler, a wheelbarrow, a pair of scissors, all of these are examples of levers. Even the financial term leverage is derived from the word lever. So in the context of increasing your portfolio, and the rest of this presentation will be on that, common sense tells us that there are 3 ways you can do that. You can, one, either increase your income, okay, or you can increase your savings, or three, you can increase the returns you get on your investment. For the purpose of this presentation, we will consider these three as the 3 levers we have. So why should someone study levers? I think that can be explained with the help of this question. Okay, so let's take the example of Ravi. Now, Ravi can do 3 things. One, he can either work hard at his office and grow his annual income 3% more than what he's supposed to get, or he can spend time with his family, cut expenses, and increase his savings by 2% gradually every year up to a maximum of 66%. Okay. Or thirdly, he can attend classes like these, he can find out how to invest, he can change his asset allocation such that his post-tax ROI, that is return on investment, grows by 0.5% every year until a maximum of 10%. So I want you to spend maybe a few moments reading these 3 options again. And after you are done, Divyanshu, can you, display the first poll?
Sure, definitely. One second. Yeah, you should have your question up right now.
So, okay, I see that one person has voted.
So the question here is, what should Ravi focus on? Between the 3 options, what do you think is the most suitable one? Is the one you should be going for? No matter if it is right or wrong, please just try answering the question and just test whether you're right or wrong in this scenario.
Okay, we'll give it another 10 seconds.
All right, yep, I'm ending the polling.
Okay, so we've got the poll, and yeah, not surprisingly, a lot of you, in fact, most of you, chose for the third option, post-tax ROI, which grows by 0.5% until it reaches 10%. So the rest of this presentation, in fact, at least a good part of this presentation will be about why you should not focus on your ROI, because if you do the math, you will realize that at least in the first half of your investing journey, your return on investment has a very small impact. Anyway, so in the rest of the presentation, I will go on to explain this. So the answer to this question is, 1 minute. Yep. Ravi should focus first on saving, then on earning, and then on ROI. For now, the short answer is this: saving is something that he has most control over. Okay. Then earning. Again, if you do the simple math, a 10% increase in earnings translates to a straight 10% increase in ROI. Okay. So as I will explain in the rest of the presentation, earning has the highest impact on your portfolio. Then finally, coming to ROI. ROI, at least in the first half of your investing journey, ROI has the least impact on your portfolio. Not just that, among all the three levers, ROI is the one that has on which you have least control. Honestly, even Warren Buffett cannot say tomorrow that such and such asset class will show so much returns. Really, nobody can say that. At best, we can make an informed opinion, but it's just an opinion. It's not a prediction that will necessarily come true. So with that, let's meet Rajesh. For the rest of this presentation, we will be using the example of Rajesh to explain what is the impact of each of these three levers, whether it is earning, saving, or investing. So Rajesh is the typical Indian who has a family of three. He's 30 years old. He's currently earning rupees 9 lakhs per annum. His savings are about currently they stand at 4 lakhs. He plans to retire by the year 2039. Again, it is 2039, not 2040, because we are considering January 1, 2020 as the starting date. Okay. So from January 1, 2020 to December 31st, 2039 will be the investing period. Rajesh wants to retire by the time he's 50. His goal is to reach an inflation adjusted corpus of rupees 2.4 crores. In other words, if today he has this amount, he will be able to retire. For all calculations, we will be considering the inflation as 7%. Also, all the amounts that will be shown in the table, they will be given in number of lakhs. So if the table says 400 lakhs, please note that it means 4 crores. Okay. So currently, Rajesh has a salary of 9 lakhs, which is growing at 10% per annum. That is his lever one, or the income, his earning capacity. The second is how much he's saving. So in this case, he's currently saving 40% of his salary. Finally, we come to lever three, which is his current portfolio. His current portfolio is a very conservative one, consisting of PPF, FD, savings, debt funds, all of which put together fetch him 7.5% per annum after tax. So as you can see, it's a very conservative portfolio, which fetches him modest returns. So just to recap, Rajesh earns 9 lakhs per annum. He has a target corpus of rupees 2.4 crores. He's saving 40% of his income and he's getting 7.5% as returns. These numbers are important because in the rest of this presentation, we will play with all the three levers and see what is the final impact on the portfolio. Okay. Just a quick heads up. We will be showing a lot of numbers during the rest of this presentation. So if you ever have any doubts, please feel free to ask me. Okay. So yeah, with that, let's start. So at the current rate, where his portfolio is fetching him 7.5% interest, when he's saving 40% of his income, and when he's earning a 9 lakhs per annum with a 10% increment, at the current rate, on December 31st, 2039, his corpus will be rupees 4 crores. After adjusting for inflation, it will be rupees 1.1 crores, which is less than half of what he has planned. here. So even after adjusting for inflation, it comes to 1.1 crores. Now, even if he decides to work for another 5 years, even then it will fall way short of his target of 2.1 crores. 2.4 crores. So clearly, his current rate is not good enough. He needs to do something about it. He can, like I said, work on his income, or increase his savings, or increase the rate of interest. So this is the graph that depicts his the growth of his retirement corpus. So since a lot of you said that ROI is the most important thing, let's take a look at that first. So let's consider scenario 1, in which he is increasing his return on investment by 0.5% every year until a maximum of 10% per annum. So let's say if he's getting 7.5% today, next year he will get 8.5%, then the year after that 9.5%, and a maximum of 10%. How will he achieve this? So for the purpose of this presentation, we are assuming that he educates himself about wealth management. He changes his asset allocation, shifts more towards equities, takes a little more risk, and eventually increases his ROI to 10% in a few years. So that is the scenario that we are considering. If that happens, let us see what is the impact on his portfolio. So the corpus increases to 5.05 crores. But again, the inflation adjusted income is 1.39 crores. Slightly more than what we saw earlier, but nowhere near to what we want. So again, as you can see, if he decides to do this for another 5 years, he can reach a maximum of 1.6 crores. Again, to recap, if he increases his ROI by 0.5% per year from the current 7.5%, even in 2044, 5 years after his retirement date, he will still have only 1.6 crores, 80 lakhs less than his target of 2.4 crores. Are you with me so far? Okay. Let's look at another scenario in which he does better than this. Instead of increasing by 0.5% per year, let's assume that he increases it by 1% per year. Okay. Until a maximum of 11%. So if he has 7.5% this year, it increases to 8.5% next year, 9.5% next year, 10.5%, and so on. If he does that, his corpus will grow to rupees 5.59 crores. After adjusting for inflation, it comes to rupees 1.54 crores. Again, well short of his target of 2.4 crores. If he works for another 5 years, he can at most hope to get to 1.85 crores as given here. So again, ROI alone will not take him very far. The point to note here is that we are considering all of this as post-tax ROI. Any ROI, say any post-tax ROI beyond 13%, 14% for a period of 15, 20 years is very hard to sustain. It's for that reason that we have considered it to a maximum of 11%, because that is the realistic figure most people should hope to achieve. So that brings us to, is return on investment enough? His target was rupees 2.4 crores. His best case scenario, that is, even after 5 years after his retirement date, he will reach only rupees 1.85 crores. So clearly, return on investment is not enough. But return on investment is definitely important for one reason, which is depicted in this graph. Now, this graph basically depicts the share of interest versus investment. So the red bar depicts the share of investment in your portfolio, so the share of interest in your portfolio, while the blue one depicts investment. Basically, your portfolio is a sum of the investment that you make and the interest that you gain on it, right? So if you notice closely, in the year 2027, that is his 8th year of investing, the interest is equal to investment. Why is this happening? Because we have focused on ROI. Okay, because we have given a focus on ROI by the 9th year. Okay, by 2028, interest has already exceeded investment. Okay, If you look at 2039, which is his final year of investing, okay, the year in which he's supposed to retire, the interest generated from his portfolio that year is nearly 3 times the investment. So let's suppose if he were to make an investment of 20 lakhs in 2039, his portfolio itself would generate an interest of 60 lakhs odd. This is to basically show the compounding that has happened if you increase ROI in this particular case. Okay, so moving on. So when is ROI not enough? ROI is not enough if you are looking to make your first 1 crore. As is very obvious from this table, even if you manage to get 20% for the next 8.5 years, it will still take you that much time to reach 1 crore. Whereas in 7 point, even with a very moderate 7.5% rate of return, you will still take 11 years to get to 1 crore. So basically what it means is that your first 1 crore depends not on your ROI, but how much you earn and how much you save. Okay. Having said that, ROI is the most critical component in a certain case, which we will explain right now. So this table gives you the salary of Rajesh in different tiers. Okay. So in 2020, he earned rupees 9 lakhs. In 2021, he got an increment of 10%, which led to a salary of rupees 9.9 lakhs. Okay. So I have not given the salary for all years because we don't have enough space, but you get where I'm going, right? Now imagine that Rajesh gets into a contract with his employer such that the salaries are reversed. So the salary that he's supposed to get in 2039, rupees 55 lakhs, instead he gets it in 2020. Then the salary that he's supposed to get in 2038, he gets it in 2021, and so on. Basically, he gets the same salary only in different years, but in reverse order. So for example, in the year 2035, when he's supposed to get rupees 37 lakhs, instead he gets it in the year 2024. So on the left hand side, you see his salary increasing steadily. On the right hand side, you see his salary dropping steadily. But in both cases, the point to be noted is that the salary over the 20-year period remains the same. It's a little over 5 crores, 5.15 crores. Since Rajesh is investing only 40% of his salary, the total investment comes to around 2.1 crores. Again, I'll repeat. In both these scenarios, he's earning the same amount, he's investing the same amount. And yet, let's look at what happens to the portfolio. So Divyanshu, can you play the second poll?
Yeah, second poll going up now.
So can you take a guess as to what happens when the salary payments get reversed? Hi Mayank, do you have a question or a point to make? Divyanshu, can you take a look at it?
Hello.
Yes, Mayank, go on.
Hello.
Yes, Mayank, go on.
Sir, I didn't get the concept of regular salary and reverse salary.
Okay. The question is, so let's say in the year 2020, on the left hand side, you saw that he's getting rupees 9 lakhs, right? Now he will be working with the same employer for
Okay.
the next 20 years. So he gets into an arrangement in which
Yes, sir.
the salary that he's supposed to get in 2039, if you look at the bottom of the right hand table, okay,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
are you getting it? Basically the order
Yes,
or
yes.
order the order in which he's getting his salary, that gets reversed. If you want, wait, I will 1 minute, I will. Okay, so as you can see, so for 2038 salary, he gets it in 2021. Okay, then
How come that's possible? How if
no,
it's he's
we are assuming it's not
return on?
possible. We are assuming that this happens.
Okay,
In real life,
okay,
it doesn't.
okay, okay, okay.
In real life, it does not happen.
That okay, 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 okay,
Okay, yeah. Okay, so I
okay.
guess.
I have now understood. I have now understood it.
Okay, thank you, Mayank. So
My
okay,
pleasure.
moving forward. So yeah.
The poll results are here. You
Okay,
can take a look at it, Srini.
1 minute. So okay, what are the poll results?
So 50% of the people think that portfolio will increase a lot.
Okay, so those 50% are right, as we will find out shortly. So yeah. So there is a 50% increase in the portfolio. Okay. So if you recall, if Rajesh did nothing, his corpus at the end of 2039 would be 400 lakhs, or say about 4 crores. But if he reverses his salary, it's about 600 lakhs or 6 crores. Okay. This is the graph that shows the difference between regular income and reverse income. Now Mayank made a very good point. This does not happen in real life. We assumed for the purpose of this presentation that Rajesh gets into such an arrangement. The point of this assumption was to show the impact of what would happen if you were to invest the big amount earlier in your life. Remember, in both cases, in the blue line and in the red line, the amount invested is the same. The only difference is that because Rajesh is getting his biggest salary first, that amount gets compounded. Whereas, so let's say if he were to get 55 lakhs in 2021, he's giving it 20 years for it to grow. Whereas in the red line or in the regular income case, his income, he gets his salary of 55 lakhs, of which he invests 40% only in that year. So you can clearly see why this leads to a huge increase in the portfolio or in the corpus amount. So moving on. So let's look at one area in which ROI is very important, and that is when you are about to retire. So let's take the example of two twin brothers, Mahesh and Ramesh, who are both 50 years old. Mahesh has a portfolio of about 2.1 crores, and he gets an ROI of 6.7%. Ramesh, his twin brother, has an identical lifestyle but a slightly smaller portfolio of 1.82 crores. His return on investment is 9.10%. Now we are assuming, again as always, that the inflation here is 7%. Okay, so our question is, who will go bankrupt first? So as you can see from this graph, Mahesh will go bankrupt first and a lot earlier than Ramesh. In this blue line, as you can see, at the age of 70, the expenses of Mahesh begin to exceed his income, and he slowly starts dipping into his portfolio. Okay, the size of his portfolio starts reducing, the curve goes down, and by the age of 85 or 84 years or so, he goes bankrupt. In the case of Ramesh, this happens a lot later. Okay, so say around the age of 86 or 87, his expenses exceed his income, then the curve falls quite sharply, and by the age of say 102 years, Ramesh goes bankrupt. So what are the lessons here? The lessons are that in retirement, since you do not have any other source of income, ROI is your most important lever. Secondly, even though in Ramesh's case, Ramesh had a return of investment of 9.1%, which is a little more than 2%, 2% more than the inflation. Even in Ramesh's case, theoretically, you would think that Ramesh will never go bankrupt, but even Ramesh eventually goes bankrupt. Okay. So the point is, it is not enough to just have a rate of interest which is slightly above the inflation rate. It has to be well above the inflation rate if you want to guard against yourself from future bankruptcy. In today's situation, this is a very important point, because there are many senior citizens in India who are struggling with the post-tax returns of FD, which are fetching them around, say, 3 to 4%. If the same continues, they will have to look towards alternate investments which are a little riskier, but also fetch them higher returns. So that brings us to savings. Okay. So again, let's consider two scenarios. Scenario 2.1, in which Rajesh increases his savings by 2% every year. So currently he's saving 40%. Let's assume that he increases it by 2% every year. So it is 42% this, 40% this year, 42% the next, 40 to 44%, and so on, until he reaches a maximum saving percentage of 66% of his salary. Okay, this is the first scenario. So let's look at the numbers here. Sorry, let's also look at scenario 2. Okay, instead of 2%, Rajesh works harder and he's able to save 3% of his 3% more of his salary. Okay, so instead of 40%, he's saving 43% next year, 46% next year, 49%, and so on, until he reaches a maximum of 70% of his salary. Are you with me so far? Basically, these are two scenarios in which Rajesh works on increasing his savings. Simple. So the numbers are, again, this is a recap. If Rajesh did nothing, like we saw in the earlier slides, he will have a corpus of 4 crores, which adjusted for inflation would be about 1.1 crores. Now, when he increases his savings, again, in lever 2.1, which is the scenario in which he increases his savings by 2%. In this one, in which he increases his savings by 2%, his retirement corpus increases to 5.7 crores. After adjusting for inflation, it comes to 1.5 crores. If he increases it by 3%, again, his retirement corpus is 6.2 crores. After adjusting for inflation, 1.7 crores. In both cases, these numbers are well short of his target of 2.4 crores. So clearly savings is not enough. This graph shows the growth of his savings and portfolio. So let's look at what makes savings important and why you should not obsess too much over savings. The most important point being that among all the three levers, between earnings, savings, and your returns, savings is the lever or the aspect of wealth which you can most easily control. It is the one on which you have most control. The ROI is not in your control. The economy is not in your control. You may even lose your job, as we have seen with many other people, with many people around us due to the ongoing pandemic. The second point is about upgrading cautiously. A lot of people, when their salary increases, sure, their lifestyle also increases, their expenses go up. The point to be noted here is that it's very hard to reduce your expenses after a while. If you are used to a certain lifestyle, you cannot go back to your earlier lifestyle. Like if you are today used to traveling in, say, Mercedes, to be honest, it will be a little hard for you to go back to public transport if the day should come. And finally, penny pinching. Don't penny pinch. Sure, we have heard from our parents that paise ped pe nahi ugte, money doesn't grow on trees, and that we should look to save every penny. While this advice is true, what I would like to say is that by obsessing too much over it, you will lose your time. Your most important asset is your time, and that by focusing on buying the cheapest item in the supermarket or in the vegetable market, or bargaining for a few rupees with your auto driver, honestly, in the long run, you will not save a lot. If you could use this time in doing something else which is a little more productive, that will have a much more impact on your portfolio. So that brings us to income, which is the most important lever in our presentation. So again, let's look at two scenarios. The first one is in which Rajesh's increment goes from 10% to 13%. Now again, if Rajesh continues working the way he is doing right now, he is assured of 10% increment. But let's assume that he works say a few hours extra every week, and his increment goes from 10% to 13% every year. Okay. Now let's consider another scenario in which his increment goes up from 10% to 15%. Now let's see the impact of these numbers. As always, if Rajesh does nothing new or nothing extra, in 20 years, his inflation adjusted income would be 1.1 crores. But if he focuses on his income, lever 1.1, in which he increases his increment by 3%. In other words, instead of getting 10%, he's getting 13%. In that case, his
Sir,
inflation
please go
adjusted.
to the previous slide.
Sure.
Sir, please go to previous slide. Previous slide. Yes, yes.
Even this is the previous slide.
Yes, yes. Okay.
So yeah, so there are two scenarios. If he does nothing, he gets 10% assured. But if he works a little hard, it goes to 13%. Let's assume he works a little harder, it goes to 15%. So 13% and 15%, these are the two scenarios we are considering. Okay. So yeah. So in lever 1.1, which is what happens if his salary increases by 13%, there is a huge jump in his inflation adjusted income. So compare 1.1 crores with 1.7 crores. Again, his increment has gone up by only by 3%. Okay, in this table on the left, he's getting 10% assured increment. In this, he's getting 13% assured increment. But look at the difference in the corpus. Now let's look at what happens when he gets 15% increment. As you can see, the jump is even more. After 20 years, like on December 31st, 2039, his inflation adjusted corpus would be 2.15 crores, which is very close to his target of 2.4 crores. Again, if you were to tell someone that if you were to increase your increment from by 10% to 15%, it may not be obvious, but as these numbers show us, over a period of 20 years, your inflation adjusted income almost doubles. At 10%, he gets 1.1 crore in 2039. At 15%, it's nearly 2.15 crores. Okay. So taking the same graph that we showed earlier in the ROI slide, if you look at this graph, okay, in this case, the interest component takes a lot longer to catch up with the investment component. If you recall, in the ROI slide, the interest had overtaken the investment slide, say around 2027 or 2028. Okay. But in this case, in which Rajesh is focusing only on his income and not on his ROI, you see it's only in 2045. Okay, 5 years after his proposed retirement date, that the interest matches the investment. Again, the reason for this is very simple. Rajesh increases his income, and as a result, his investment increases. So it takes a lot longer for the interest to catch up with the investment. Again, this is something that will be fairly obvious to you when you look at the Excel sheet I will share in a bit. So yeah, now let's do a comparison of all the levers. Okay. So right at the bottom, this black line you see, this is the current state. Okay, in which Rajesh does not earn anything extra, in which he does not save anything extra, nor does he get any extra return. And as you can see, it fetches him somewhere around 4 crores in 2039. On the other end, this dotted red line that you see, this is lever 1.2. Okay, the one that we discussed just now, in which Rajesh increases his increment by 5%. Okay, so instead of 10%, he's getting 15% year on year. So you see the difference, 4 crores and it's almost 8 crores. After adjusting for inflation, again, the impact is the same. 1.1 crores becomes 2.15 crores. So clearly, all these slides, all these graphs show you so far, and I hope that income has the most impact on your portfolio. But the point of this entire presentation is not to tell you that, okay, boss, focus only on your income and ignore ROI and savings. No, that's not the point. The point is to tell you how much should you focus on all three. So just to summarize, these are the numbers. So like I said, if he doesn't do anything special or anything extra, this is where he stands, no lever. Okay. If he focuses on his ROI, this is where he gets. And as you can see, the most impact is from lever 1, which is by focusing on his income and increasing it. By increasing it, his increment only by 5%, his inflation adjusted corpus goes to 2.15 crores, which is almost 90% of his target corpus of 2.4 crores. So now let us consider a final scenario in which Rajesh works a little extra in all the three levers. Okay. So let's suppose in lever 1, he is able to increase his earning capacity or his salary by 5%. 10% plus 5%, 15%. Now let's consider lever 2, in which he is able to increase his savings by 1.5% per annum. Okay, till a maximum of 66%. So let's say if it is 40% this year, it will be 41.5% next year, 43% the year after that, and so on. And finally, coming to ROI. Okay, right now his portfolio is fetching him 7.5%. By applying lever 3, he increases it to 8%, then to 8.5%, then to 9%, 9.5%, so on till he reaches a maximum of 10%. So let's look at the impact of these three numbers. So the retirement corpus, after applying all these three levers in 2039, is a little over 8 crores. After adjusting for inflation, it comes to 2.25 crores. Again, if you recall, Rajesh's target corpus is 2.4 crores. 2.25 crores is almost close to 2.4 crores. 95% of 2.4 crores to be precise. So Rajesh can do two things. He can either be happy with whatever he has gained till 2039, or he can work for a few more years and really increase his inflation adjusted corpus over 2.4 crores. So if he continues to work for another 5 years, instead of 2.4 crores, he will have 3.53 crores, which is more than 1.1 crores over his corpus. So this is the impact, what happens if you apply all three levers. So as you can see in summary, earning has the biggest impact, followed by savings, then followed by investments, and all three put together have a great impact on your portfolio. So to summarize, these are the pros and cons of each lever. So yeah, let's start with the first and the most obvious one. Income, yes, that makes the most impact to your portfolio in your early years. The implication of this point here is this: if you are someone who is not sure of where to invest, then please start investing early, even if it is something that is safe and that does not give you a lot of return. The key thing here is to invest early and not to wait and not to delay investing and obsess over returns or keep waiting for the perfect product that will give you double digit returns after tax. It is better to invest, as we have shown in a few other creatives that you might recall, it is better to invest from January 2021 at 7.5% than to invest from December 2021 with 10%. It's better to start early. However, what makes income a little hard as a lever is that basically you will be able to make more money only when you do better than others. If you are an entrepreneur, your company has to do better than your competitors. If you are an employee, you need to be at that you need to do better than all your colleagues to get a good appraisal. So that's what makes income a fairly hard to achieve lever. Then we come to savings. Like I said earlier, savings is something that has a medium impact, but it's something that you have the most control over. On the flip side, if you have a family, it's something that on which it's not enough for you to be frugal, but you also need your family to agree with you on the same, and the family needs to practice the same discipline for the entire period. And finally, we come to ROI. ROI in the initial years has the least impact. Okay. However, after a certain period, halfway through your investing journey, the importance of ROI becomes obvious. And if you are a retired person or someone who doesn't have a source of income, then ROI, that is return on investment, is your most important component or most important lever. On the other hand, like I said, it is something that on which you have the least control. The reason investing is so hard is precisely because none of us, including Warren Buffett or any other legendary investor, nobody can really predict the future or suggest an asset class which has guaranteed returns. I mean, unless apart from a few products, really the vast majority of products don't have any guaranteed returns and have some element of risk in it. So yeah, with that, we come to the end of this presentation. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, I would love to take it.
Sir, it was very Anand here, sir.
Okay, hi Anand, please tell me.
Yeah, it was very critical to understand these all things, and something I understand, something not. So you just please uh, give the conclusion of this entire PPT. What is
Okay,
the
the conclusion
conclusion?
is okay. So the conclusion is this: if you are new to investing, start investing early. Do not wait. Invest with something that you know. Invest with something that you know is safe. Okay. So let's say, for example, if you are not sure which mutual fund will give you 12% interest, you are not sure. Okay, you can start by investing in PPF FD, which will maybe give you 6%, 7%. Okay.
All right.
But eventually, yes, at some point in your investing journey, you should know how to invest in mutual funds, get 10+% returns, but that is not necessary for you to start.
Sir, sorry for interruption. I just telling you, you take my example. I am 39-year-old now, and
Okay.
I have income of around 50,000 rupees per month. So you
Okay.
just give the example how I can invest and how will the return ROI.
So again, I do not know your okay, you told me about your income. What are your expenses?
Expenses is around 30,000, and I am saving 20,000 right now.
You are saving 20,000 right now. See, so Anand, so okay, we have only 15 minutes left, and I would love to take your. So one, I am not a how do I say? I'm not a financial expert. Okay, what I told you, what I told you here essentially is what I found out from my experiments with MS Excel.
All right.
Okay, having said that, I think one of our wealth managers can take this question. Also, the other
No,
reason,
not an issue, sir.
the other reason I'm not, because see, I need to understand your risk appetite. Like for example, if you were to lose some money, or if you were to not, or if there is a product with a lock-in, like if you're not able to access your money for 3 years, is that something that you would be okay with? So there are a lot of questions that need to be answered. So it's for that reason I'm not able to take your question right now. If you have some specific question with regard to this presentation, I'll be more than happy to answer.
Oh, I was supposing that my question is correlated with the given presentations.
No, I can. So, like I said, on your personal life, like I said, then you have to tell me. You since you asked me, okay, which product you want me to invest in. That is not the purpose of this presentation. The purpose of the
Okay, not an
presentation.
issue, sir. I'll contact to my wealth manager. No, sorry, my coordinator, and then I will take my question. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I don't think we have any. Oh no, wait, we have one question. Uh, think we have any questions.
Sir,
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, Susan.
yes, sir. I have one very personal question.
Okay.
Sir, it's personal question. Right now, suppose I'm employee. I'm working with some insurance company.
Okay.
So, I didn't get time to अ, जैसे वेल्दी के साथ पर्सनली एक मैं काम कर सकता हूँ, मतलब टाइम निकाल भी सकता हूँ, लेकिन कंपनी में काम करते वक्त मुझे बिल्कुल टाइम नहीं मिल पाता। अब यहाँ पे बात हो रही थी सैलरी इंक्रीमेंट की, तो
हाँ।
सर 3 साल हो चुके हैं, कोई भी इंक्रीमेंट नहीं लगा है। ठीक है, मेरे मन में हमेशा क्वेश्चन होता है, मैं जॉब स्विच करूं या प्राइवेट एजेंट ही बन जाऊं, क्योंकि मैं किसी लाइफ इंश्योरेंस कंपनी में ही काम कर रहा हूँ।
अच्छा।
तो मुझे लाइफ इंश्योरेंस के प्रोडक्ट्स के बारे में फुल नॉलेज है। ठीक
अच्छा।
है, पूरी पूरी फुल नॉलेज है, लेकिन अब बात यह है, अभी मैं इंक्रीमेंट नहीं मिल पा रहा, क्योंकि बजट्स ही इतने ज्यादा हो जाते हैं, बहुत ज्यादा बजट्स हो जाते हैं हमारे,
हाँ।
और अप्रिसिएशन कुछ नहीं मिल पाती। ठीक है,
हाँ जी।
कुछ ब्रांचेस का सेटअप भी इतना मतलब ज्यादा ठीक नहीं है। तो अब बात यह है, अगर मेरे मन में ये दुविधा है, अगर मैं जॉब क्विट करता हूँ तो मैं ज्यादा तरीके से बढ़िया काम कर सकता हूँ और ये इन्वेस्टमेंट कर सकता हूँ। मुझे बस इतनी आपकी सलाह चाहिए, ये भी जॉब क्विट करूं या स्विच करूं, कैसे करूं, समझ नहीं पा रहा मैं
देखिए,
इस चीज को।
अच्छा, आपने अपना नाम नहीं बताया मुझे।
हाँ जी, मैं नहीं बताना चाहता।
अच्छा, ठीक है, चलिए। देखिए, मैं इसका शॉर्ट आंसर ये है कि ये एक बहुत पर्सनल सवाल है और इसके ऊपर मैं कह नहीं सकता। मतलब अगर कल को आपकी नौकरी गई, मान लीजिए, तो आपकी
हाँ
फैमिली
जी,
पे क्या क्या असर होगा? ठीक है, आपके पास कितना इन्वेस्टमेंट है, आप कब रिटायर होना चाहते हैं? तो ऐसे बहुत सारे सवाल हैं और मुझे नहीं लगता आप उन सब सवालों का जवाब अभी देना चाहेंगे। ठीक है।
मैं चलो अभी दे देता हूँ। लाइक अभी एज 35 की है, 35 की एज है, और ऑलमोस्ट 10 साल हो गए नौकरी करते हुए,
ठीक है।
और काफी स्विच भी करे हैं, मतलब पहले बैंकिंग में था, उसके बाद अब इंश्योरेंस में आ गया हूँ।
हम्म।
लेकिन जो सैलरी है वो वही के वही है, पिछले 9-10 साल से वही सैलरी है।
अच्छा।
हाँ, ये बात है, अभी इंक्रीमेंट कोई नहीं मिल पा रहा है,
हम्म।
तो ये दुविधा में हूँ। मेरा तो मन है अभी, जैसे स्काई इज द लिमिट, ठीक है,
अच्छा।
मेरा मन ये है, लेकिन अब फैमिली वाइफ की जो प्रेफरेंसेस है वो तो है, अभी आप अच्छे ब्रांड के साथ जुड़े हुए हो, इनके साथ जॉब करो, काम करो, इनके साथ यहीं लगे
हाँ।
रहो। लेकिन जितना मर्जी अपने आप को इतना हार्ड वर्क डेडिकेशन के साथ कर लिया, इसका कोई वो मूल्य नहीं मिल पा रहा।
तो देखिए,
दिक्कत
इसका
ये है।
इसका जहाँ तक मुझे मालूम है, देखिए, पहले तो अगर आपने मेरा इस प्रेजेंटेशन के स्टार्ट में देखा होगा, आई एम नॉट अ फाइनेंशियल एक्सपर्ट। यहाँ पे
हाँ
मैं
जी, हाँ जी,
कंटेंट लिखता हूँ और मैंने जो भी अभी यहाँ पे प्रेजेंट किया, ये सब मैंने सिर्फ यू नो स्प्रेडशीट के ऊपर किया है। तो मैं ये पहली बात। दूसरी बात, यू कैन, आई थिंक, वर्क विद वेल्दी और एनी अदर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन विच योर कंपनी परमिट्स। चलो, मान लीजिए जैसे वेल्दी में हम ये, एंड आई थिंक वन ऑफ आवर पार्टनर सक्सेस मेंबर्स कैन एक्सप्लेन टू यू दिस बेटर। अगर आप मान लीजिए, अगर आप अपने कंपनी से खुश नहीं है, तो आप
हाँ
कोई
जी।
पार्ट टाइम नौकरी कर सकते हैं सेकंड इनकम के लिए। और जब सेकंड
सर,
इनकम थोड़ी सेटल हो जाए, तो यू कैन क्विट योर फुल टाइम जॉब एंड डू दैट। हमारे साथ ऐसे कई लोग हैं जिन्होंने मतलब कुछ महीने ये पार्ट टाइम करके देखा। जब उनको इस बात की तसल्ली हो गई कि वेल्दी के साथ वो फुल टाइम काम कर सकते हैं, फुल टाइम उतना अटेंशन दे सकते हैं, तो उन्होंने अपना पहली जॉब छोड़ दिया और उन्होंने वो भी स्विच कर लिया।
वो वही है एक्चुअली, आपकी जो प्रेजेंटेशन होती रहती हैं बीच में, ठीक है, मान लीजिए आपकी हर हर वीक में एक या दो होती होंगी, लेकिन
हाँ।
आज कुछ मैं, मतलब आज फोर्थ फोर्थ या फिफ्थ टाइम आपकी प्रेजेंटेशन आज अटेंड करी है, क्योंकि आज टाइम, नेचुरली आज टाइम निकल पाया।
ठीक है।
और दूसरी बात ये है, अभी मेरा आपके अब यहाँ पे पैनल में पार्टिसिपेंट में कई और भी कई आपके सीनियर ऑफिशियल्स होंगे। तो मेरा बस ये सवाल है, अभी मैं इस दुविधा में हूँ, मुझे दुविधा से निकालिए। मैं, अगर मैं प्राइवेट एजेंट बन के क्या सक्सेसफुल हो पाऊंगा, बस ये बात है। क्लाइंट बेस है मेरे पास, कस्टमर्स हैं।
अच्छा, तो आप आप कह रहे हैं कि आप अपना नाम नहीं बताना चाहते। अच्छा, आप ऐसा कीजिए, दिव्यांशु, डू यू थिंक देयर इज एनीवन इन आवर टीम हु कैन हेल्प हिम?
I think he can have a word with. I think Savant or Aditya. I think if he has a word with them, I think we can. What we can do is we can like help him on board with us
अच्छा।
on with Wealthy for like on a part-time basis,
ठीक है।
and then he can experience it for himself
अच्छा।
and see like how it works. So if it works good for him, then he
ओके।
can automatically transition from from working in a
Okay,
corporate
Divyanshu,
company to
do we have Saurabh, Shatabdi or Sukriti, any of the three here?
I don't think we do have them today. It's only just the both of us.
अच्छा देखिए, मैं आपका नाम नहीं जानता, लेकिन अफसोस इस बात का है कि आज हमारे कोई भी सीनियर ऑफिशियल्स एक्चुअली इस कॉल में है नहीं, तो मुझे भी उसी बात का भी पता चला। अगर वो होते तो इस सवाल का वो सीधा जवाब देते। आई एम नॉट द राइट पर्सन टू बी ऑनेस्ट आंसरिंग दिस क्वेश्चन। और क्योंकि मैं आपका नाम नहीं जानता और मैं आपका ईमेल आईडी यहाँ पूछना भी नहीं चाहता, मैं यही आपको सजेस्ट करूंगा कि अगर हो सके तो आप दोबारा एक ऐसा जूम कॉल अटेंड कीजिए। नहीं तो दिव्यांशु, इज देयर एन ईमेल एड्रेस टू व्हिच ही कैन राइट?
नहीं, so you can do one thing. I can give him Shatabdi's और Sukriti's number. आपके पास कोई रिलेशनशिप मैनेजर का नंबर है क्या आपके पास?
Yes, Shatabdi is there.
शताब्दी है ना? तो आप एक काम कर दीजिएगा, आप उनसे बात करके उनको बोले कि लाइक आई वांट टू टॉक टू आदित्य, एंड आदित्य आप हमारे को-फाउंडर है, तो ही कैन गिव यू सम एडवाइस। सो बेसिकली आप बोल रहे हैं कि आपके पास एक क्लाइंट बेस है ऑलरेडी, तो आप क्या कर सकते हैं ना, तो यू कैन डू अ पार्ट टाइम इनिशियली विद आवर कंपनी। तो एक आइडिया आ जाएगा आपको कि कंपनी कैसे चलता है, कितना इनकम आ सकता है। तो इफ यू आर हैप्पी विथ इट एंड इफ यू आर अर्निंग वेल इन पार्ट टाइम, तो आप अपना प्राइमरी जॉब छोड़ के यू कैन आल्सो डू योर यू कैन वर्क फुल टाइम विथ वेल्दी, so that way at least आपका पूरा एफर्ट उसमें with it will go in wealthy.
Yes sir, actually I am already associated with Wealthy from last 2 months, but I haven't opened my account yet with Wealthy.
तो आप एक काम कर सकते हैं, तो यू कैन हैव दिस डिस्कशन विद शताब्दी, और इफ यू वांट शी कैन पुट यू थ्रू विद वन ऑफ आवर सीनियर ऑफिशियल्स। तो आप यू कैन स्टार्ट ऑफ स्मॉल, तो वो थोड़ा स्मॉल अमाउंट डाल के एक बार ट्राई करिएगा, एंड इफ इट गोज वेल you can keep going, you can start investing more and you can try it out for yourself.
Okay sir, okay thank you sir.
So if you want, please do contact Shatabdi. She will
I think शताब्दी आपके सारे सवालों का जवाब देगी, ठीक है। और जैसे कि मैंने कहा आपको, मतलब इसमें मेरे ख्याल से रिस्क कुछ है नहीं, ठीक है। आई थिंक 5 या 10 मिनट में आपका अकाउंट बन जाएगा। आप जो काम आप अपने कंपनी के लिए करते हैं, आपको वही काम आई थिंक मोस्टली हमारे लिए भी करना होगा। और अगर आप खुश हैं तो फिर आप बाकी आगे आपकी मर्जी, बस उतना ही है।
हाँ जी, ठीक है सर,
ठीक है। एनी अदर क्वेश्चंस?
नो थैंक यू।
I think Mayank has a question.
Mayank?
हेलो।
यस मयंक।
सर मेरा भी ऐसी कंडीशन है कि मेरे को 5 साल हो चुके हैं, मैंने बैंकिंग से करियर शुरू किया है और लास्ट में मैंने वर्क किया वो बैंक के लिए किया है। मैंने अभी जो सर बात कर रहे थे उसी से मेरे को भी ये लगता है कि आज के टाइम पे स्टार्टअप में काम करना ज्यादा अच्छा है जाकि सैलरी के बगैर। मतलब सैलरी तो है ही है, इम्पोर्टेंट पार्ट है लाइफ का, पर स्टार्टअप से आप ज्यादा कुछ अर्न कर सकते हो, अपनी मर्जी से काम कर सकते हो, फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी है। तो मैं भी यही पूछना चाहता था, मेरे पास भी क्लाइंट बेस है ऐसा जो मेरे 5 साल की बैंकिंग से मेरे को मिला है कि तो उनको मैं अप्रोच करूंगा, तो वो ज्यादा, मैं जहाँ रहता हूँ चंडीगढ़ रहता हूँ, तो हमारे यहाँ पे ज्यादा टेक्निकली नो हाउ नहीं है लोगों को,
ठीक है,
वो एफडीज आरडीज से ही संतुष्ट हैं।
ठीक है।
तो अब जैसे आज आपने प्रेजेंटेशन दी, ये प्रेजेंटेशन मैं किसी के थर्ड पार्टी जो अपने कस्टमर्स हैं उनको समझाऊंगा तो वो ज्यादा देर तक थोड़ा सा अडेप्ट नहीं कर पाएंगे उसको।
हाँ सही बात है।
ठीक है, ठीक, बस मैं यही पूछना चाहता हूँ, तो मैं इसको शॉर्ट टर्म में कैसे समझाऊं उनको, क्या ब्रीफ में समरी में क्या बताऊं उनको कि जो एडजस्टेड आपने बताया है कि भाई इतने टाइम के बाद आपका ये कॉर्पस होगा, वही चीज मैं उनको समझाऊं, शॉर्ट में क्या बताऊं इसमें इस प्रेजेंटेशन के।
एक्चुअली नाउ दैट यू हैव आस्क्ड, उसका मैं जवाब देता हूँ। तो ये जो शीट है, मैं आप सबके साथ एक शीट शेयर करता हूँ, ठीक है।
हाँ जी।
तो इसमें कुछ नहीं करना है, अगर आप इफ यू आर कनेक्टेड वाया डेस्कटॉप, ठीक है, आपको बस ओपन करना है, ठीक है, और नंबर्स डालने हैं।
अभी जैसे सर पता लगा है कि वेल्दी के लिए मेरे को लैपटॉप में ही क्लाइंट के पोर्टफोलियो वगैरह यूज करना पड़ेगा। उससे पहले जहां पे मैंने काम किया है मेरे को कंपनी की तरफ से डेस्कटॉप मिलता होता था, जैसे मैं कैश में भी बैठा हूँ या फ्रंट डेस्क में भी बैठा हूँ, तो अब मैं लैपटॉप पे यूज टू हो चुका हूँ वैसे ही नॉर्मली। पहले बीच में मैं लैपटॉप भी बहुत रेयरली यूज करता था, तो अब वेल्दी के लिए काम करने में लैपटॉप भी यूज करना पड़ेगा, ठीक है। वो उसके लिए मेरे को कोई वो दिक्कत नहीं है। तो बस ये बता दीजिए कि ब्रीफ में मैं आज के
तो ब्रीफ में आंसर ही है जो मैंने शेयर किया, और एक शीट मैंने शेयर किया, बस ये बहुत सिंपल कैलकुलेटर है। आप लोगों से 4 सवाल पूछिए। आपकी आज की तनख्वाह क्या है, 20 साल बाद आप कहाँ रहना, आप कितने पैसे बनाना चाहते हैं, बस
ठीक
ये 2-3
ठीक
सवाल पूछिए, इसमें भर दीजिए।
क्योंकि
तो
सर,
मैंने जो भी प्रेजेंट किया है वो सारा आपको
क्योंकि
दिख जाएगा।
मैं आपसे एक एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करना चाहता हूँ। जैसे
हाँ।
जब से पेंडेमिक आया है ना,
हाँ।
तो लोगों की ना बहुत बिहेवियर भी बदल गया है, और मार्केट को लेके वो आगे सोचना नहीं चाहते। कुछ भी पैसा निकालने से पहले वो 10 बार सोचते हैं आज के टाइम पे।
जी, बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल।
क्योंकि कुछ भी वो सोचते हैं कि भाई कोविड की वजह से मेरे को कहीं बेड पे ना आना पड़े, तो मैं क्यों टर्म प्लान ले लूं, ऐसा भी सोचते हैं।
करेक्ट, करेक्ट।
ओके, सो आई हैव वन क्वेश्चन। तो मयंक, आप ये बोल रहे हैं कि लाइक आपके जो क्लाइंट बेस है ना, तो हम जो भी अभी प्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं वो अभी
हाँ जी,
बहुत
बहुत अच्छा है।
अंडरस्टैंडेबल अच्छा है,
बिल्कुल
पर
बिल्कुल
लाइक
बिल्कुल
पर
बिल्कुल।
उनके लिए उनको ज्यादा अंडरस्टैंड नहीं हो रहा है, वो आप
नहीं
वो
नहीं
बोल
नहीं,
रहे
मैं
हैं।
ये नहीं कह रहा, मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि
हाँ
उन्होंने ना, जैसे हमारे पास तो मल्टीपल प्रोडक्ट्स है ना सर,
हाँ।
ICICI, HDFC, तो
ओके
उनको उन्होंने ऑलरेडी बैंकिंग की हुई है इन्हीं बैंक्स में।
ओके।
एक कस्टमर मेरे हैं, क्लाइंट अच्छे हैं, उन्होंने ICICI, HDFC और भी बैंक्स में बैंकिंग करी है, तो वो पुराने बैंकिंग कर रहे हैं, तो उन्हीं को मैं आगे इसमें वेल्थी में जोड़ना चाहता हूँ।
यस, ओके। सो नहीं, मुझे आई जस्ट वांटेड टू नो वेदर योर कस्टमर बेस आल्सो इज एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट वी आर
हाँ जी,
एक्सप्लेनिंग। हाँ, तो इफ हाँ
अभी मैंने फुल फ्लेज प्रेजेंटेशन नहीं बताई, अभी सिर्फ इनको इंट्रोड्यूस किया है, क्योंकि मेरे को
हाँ।
भी ये भी वेल्दी से जुड़े 1 मंथ भी नहीं पूरा हुआ।
अच्छा।
ओके ओके।
हाँ जी, हाँ जी।
तो सो व्हाट आई वाज थिंकिंग वाज, अगर थोड़ा डिफिकल्टी है अंडरस्टैंडिंग करने में, तो वी कैन
नहीं नहीं
लाइक
नहीं,
मेक इट अ
डिफिकल्टी
बिट
नहीं
मोर
है।
सिंपलर।
हाँ जी, हाँ जी, डिफिकल्टी
तो
नहीं है, कोई
वैसे
डिफिकल्टी नहीं है। बस उनको शॉर्ट में ना, जैसे उनके पास टाइम जितना होता है, तो उस टाइम के जोन के बीच में जो मैं एक्सप्लेन कर सकूं प्रेजेंटेशन से, वो वाला पार्ट आप मेरे को बता दीजिए, मैं ये
ठीक है।
पूछता
तो मैं बहुत समरी में आपको आंसर देता हूँ। पहले तो जैसा मैंने
हूँ। हाँ
पहले
जी,
कहा, अगर इन्वेस्टिंग जल्दी शुरू कीजिए, भले ही मतलब आगे जा,
बिल्कुल।
भले, तो दैट्स पॉइंट नंबर 1। पॉइंट नंबर 2, अगर आप रिटायर्ड हो, आपके लिए रिटर्न ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट बहुत जरूरी है। मतलब एफडी
हाँ
के
जी,
भरोसे अगर आप एफडी में आज के टाइम में पैसे डालेंगे, ठीक है, सरकार की
बिल्कुल।
गारंटी है, लेकिन 20-25 बाद बैंक दिवाला तो निकलना है। तो
FD के रेट्स तो खुद ही कम हो रहे हैं सर।
हाँ बस, हाँ, तो वो तो होना ही है। वो मतलब, हाँ, लोग कहेंगे कि म्यूचुअल फंड्स में रिस्क है, हाँ रिस्क जरूर है, लेकिन अगर आप सोच समझ के करेंगे तो देयर इज अ गुड चांस कि
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल
आपको
बिल्कुल
पैसे रहेंगे।
बिल्कुल
लेकिन एफडी में तो
बिल्कुल।
गारंटी है, मैंने जैसे आपको बताया 25 साल आप
एफडी
अगर 50।
एफडीज तो ऐसा है कि एक बार किसी ने डाल दिया, वो फिर वो रिटर्न के बाद ही निकाल लेगा।
हाँ, और तो
इसी में
वो,
हमने गाइड करना पड़ेगा साथ साथ।
हाँ, तो एफडी में मतलब मैं दावे के साथ कह सकता हूँ कि अगर कोई 50 साल का बंदा अगर आज इन्वेस्ट करता है, 75 या 80 जब उसकी उम्र हो जाती है, तब तक सारे मतलब
हाँ जी,
इतना घट जाएगा पैसे कि वो किसी
कि
काम का नहीं रहेगा।
काम
So
करेंगे।
that,
बिल्कुल
हाँ,
बिल्कुल
so
सर,
that is,
बिल्कुल
वो आप मैच करके दिखा सकते हैं। वो मतलब वो
बिल्कुल
मुझे बताने की जरूरत नहीं है। वो हो गया।
बिल्कुल। बस मैं मेरे को ये कह रहा हूँ, क्योंकि मेरे पास ना फर्स्ट टाइम मेरा एक्सपीरियंस होगा लैपटॉप पे किसी के साथ कुछ शेयर करने का।
हाँ।
मेरे पास इसकी आदत नहीं है, तो
हाँ।
उसके लिए आप कुछ सिंपल सा बता सकते हैं
हाँ,
कि भाई ये वाला
हाँ,
पार्ट।
तो वो तो मैंने आपको जब भी कैलकुलेटर दिखाया, ठीक है,
हाँ जी, हाँ जी,
वो
एक मिनट।
बस उसमें आपको
मैं
बस इतना करना
ठीक
है,
है,
ठीक है। यू हैव टू सेव इट एज अ सेपरेट फाइल। उसमें बस
ठीक
आपको ये नंबर या आंकड़े डालने हैं कि भाई
ठीक
आज
है,
आपकी तनख्वाह क्या है। अगर आज आपकी तनख्वाह ये है और ये रिटर्न है 20 साल बाद, ठीक है, आप
ठीक है।
इतनी होगी आपकी तनख्वाह।
अच्छा अच्छा,
तो जब लोग
चलो।
कहते हैं कि 20 साल बाद मुझे 10 करोड़ कमाने हैं, 20 साल बाद का जो 10 करोड़ है वो आज के 2 या 2.5 करोड़ के बराबर होगा।
नहीं सर, आपकी प्रेजेंटेशन बहुत यूजफुल है सर, बहुत एप्ट है, बहुत बिल्कुल टाइम स्पेंड जो आप करवाते हैं इसमें बहुत अच्छा लगता है मुझे, कि मेरे को सब नॉलेज उसके थ्रू मिल जाती है। तो वही नॉलेज मैं आगे कस्टमर्स को प्रोवाइड करूंगा और उनसे सर्विसेज
जी
उनको अवेल
बिल्कुल। तो
करवाएंगे।
आप बस ये जो मैंने शीट शेयर करी है, आप बस उससे एक बार ट्राई कर लीजिए। कुछ नहीं करना
ठीक है
आपको, बस
सर, ठीक
अलग
है,
अलग नंबर डालने हैं, बस उतना ही है।
ठीक ठीक है सर, ठीक
Anyone
है।
else, any other questions? We are almost at the end of this presentation.
yeah, I think we're done with the questions over here.
Okay, I think so. Then we can call it a day, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks to everyone who joined. Thanks a lot. Bye. Thank you.